News 25 is brought to you by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrumps optometrist since 1990, offering full spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight, a restaurant and gas station go up in flames, and 2 bikers are in critical condition following a crash. News 25 starts now.
This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Popular Amargosa business is destroyed by fire. It's Monday, July 1st. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. The state fire marshal is investigating the cause of a fire that completely destroyed a commercial structure in Amargosa.
Sure. Sunday morning, right around the midnight hour, we were dispatched as part of a mutual aid assignment to Amargosa, specifically the Lathrop Wells area, for the initial report of a commercial structure fire involving a gas station. Crews responded with other resources, including Amargosa Volunteer Fire Department. As we were responding, we were notified that the building was fully involved. We arrived on location and confirmed that the initial reports were correct. The commercial structure, which had a convenience store, it had a restaurant, and also supplied the power to the fuel island, was well involved. Crews completed a scene size up risk assessment, determined that there was exposure vehicles, exposure structures at the rear of the property, including propane. So immediately commenced into protecting those structures and then focusing on the suppression effort. It was kind of a unique design of building. It was block construction, but had a number of former power pole type structures that gave it the simulated look of a fort that were affixed to those structures. So the majority of that area that ran along the facade was well involved, but there was no suppression. The sprinkler systems didn't protect those particular areas. Heavy fire within. The sprinkler system did kick in, unknown exactly what the extent of the performance of the sprinkler system was. There were no injuries. Crews had it under control in about an hour and a half after arrival.
What do you do and what precautions do you take when it's a gas station fire? How do you access the shutoff? And there's also propane.
Right. All those devices were shut off in the early stages of the fire, so the fuel island was without power. And then, of course, the propane service was shut down at the building. Later on, AmeriGas responded with their crews and secured the power, the propane, excuse me, to the building as well. Valley Electric responded and secured the power to the complex, and the Deputy State Fire Marshal was requested, and with the investigators from both Carson City and Las Vegas responding. It was actually Amargosa Volunteer Fire Department's primary response area. The mutual aid resources, including Pahrump Valley Fire Rescue and the NNSS, they came in. We worked as a unified command and determined what the resources were. One of the big issues we had was that we couldn't get to the yard hydrant for the property with the standby tanks because it was in the collapse zone, so we had to go to secondary sources for water. I think the fire advancement grew quickly. It had an extraordinary fuel load both inside and outside the building. The trailer park was considered an exposure area, and that was protected with no damage occurring there.
And then what's the state fire marshal saying at this point? Do you know?
They're in the middle of their investigation, and so it would be premature to state exactly what they're thinking at this point.
There was recent construction in there, I heard, with the restaurant?
Don't know the extent of that, but I know that is part of the ongoing investigation. Everything had just closed about an hour prior to the fire. No injuries.
And one person was transported with gunshot wounds to a Las Vegas trauma center over the weekend. Police say that this was a result of a road rage incident. The shooting reportedly occurred in the parking lot of Who's Dunes Bar on Highway 372 and Linda Street.
Late Saturday evening, we were dispatched for a report of a gunshot wound. Crews were originally staged away from the incident, then were brought into the area of the Who's Dunes parking lot. We had one patient who was shot twice in both the lower extremities, which warranted flight. Emergency air was added to the assignment. We transported that patient to the base 21, who was subsequently flown to trauma. We treated and transported one patient. We were later called back to the scene to assist the sheriff's office with scene illumination and also to assist with a biohazard removal. It's my understanding that there was an exterior and then it moved to an interior, but we were responsible for cleaning up the exterior where it would be in contact with any potential public person. The crews made contact with the patient in the bathroom.
And 2 riders were airlifted on Friday night from the scene of a high-impact crash that occurred on Homestead and Mance Road.
As our crews arrived on location, they found 2 riders down on the bike. They determined that they had sustained critical injuries as a result of the impact. We brought 2 Mercy Air helicopters to the scene with the LZ established on Mance Road. Air 21 and 24 safely landed. Patient care was transferred, and they were transported to UMC Trauma. They definitely appear to be life-threatening at the scene, but until you get into the trauma center and get all of the additional testing done to see exactly what the extent of injuries are. But the bike had been caught on fire. The fire was extinguished quickly without incident, but definitely there was some critical injuries sustained. The other driver was uninjured. That's my understanding. The sheriff's office was going to start beginning an investigation. I don't know if there was impairment or not, but I know they were investigating all aspects of the accident.
And a very busy weekend for our emergency responders. Luckily, no injuries were sustained following a single vehicle rollover that happened on Friday night. One person was taken into custody as a result of a rollover accident that occurred on Friday night on Highway 160 and Cass. Emergency crews arrived on scene to find one vehicle on its side. We spoke to Fire Chief Scott Lewis from Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue.
Crews were dispatched for the report of a one-vehicle rollover. They responded, and they investigated and found that there were no injuries. It remained in the care and custody of NHP and the Sheriff's Office.
The driver of this vehicle is facing charges related to driving under the influence. More news right after this break.
You're watching KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, here's your latest in your business news.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, higher drug sales are giving Walgreens a win. The stock was one of the best performers during Thursday's trading session. Revenue came in above Wall Street forecasts at $34.5 billion. Amazon is connecting with Rite Aid. The online retailer just launched a new service called Counter, meaning you can walk into a Rite Aid and pick up an Amazon package over the counter. It starts with 100 Rite Aid locations and will eventually branch out to 1,500 stores and retail partners. Wayfair plans to donate $100,000 to the Red Cross following backlash. CNN Business reports the donation is in reaction to employees walking off the job Wednesday after learning the bedroom furniture retailer sold beds and mattresses to be used in a migrant detention facility.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
We want to remind everybody that blasting will be occurring tomorrow, July 2nd at 11:45 in the morning up at the top of Mountain Springs. There is a 2-hour travel delay, and it starts at 11:45 once again. Well, power was out at least 2 homes Friday when a forklift driver tore down some electrical lines on Gamebird Road.
On Gamebird Road, just west of Homestead, an industrial forklift was moving some material and had it in an elevated position as they were going out of the driveway onto a roadway. They snagged the overhead power lines that were servicing 2 houses. They pulled those power lines to the ground. They were energized. So we arrived on location, created a safe area. We determined that there were no injuries. Sheriff's Auxiliary came in, patrol vehicles. They were able to make contact with the driver of the forklift and made sure everything else was good. Electric responded, resecured the power in about an hour and a half's time.
So the down power line, they were able to find the actual forklift driver and make contact with him. As far as that's concerned, Valley Electric was called on scene and was able to hook up that?
Yes, they reconnected the power and secured it back to the dwellings that were impacted, and they were with power within approximately an hour and a half. Well, when we arrived on location, people were hopping over the energized power line to get to the other side, obviously, and that is extremely dangerous, and it's with great risk. So we encourage everyone just stay away from the power line. Don't worry about the little ground cover fire that has started. We simply waited. We didn't even have to put water on it or anything, any kind of suppression effort until that power line was secure.
Well, Nevada Highway Patrol says this afternoon that one person is confirmed deceased and another one has been airlifted to a Las Vegas trauma center as a result of a 2-car crash that occurred this afternoon on Highway 95 at mile marker 50 in Nye County. Traffic is being diverted around the scene of the crash. Nevada Highway Patrol is investigating the cause of this accident between a red Pontiac Firebird and a dark full-size pickup truck. The driver of the pickup truck is reportedly alert and walking around. The deceased and and critically injured patients were both inside the Firebird, according to Nevada Highway Patrol. A sad story. Our hearts and prayers go out to the families. We'll have more right after this break.
News 25 is brought to you by Bill and Robin Law, injury attorneys. Injured, need money? Get Bill and Robin, your local Pahrump injury attorneys.
And now let's go to Rhonda Van Winkle with the latest news across our great state.
Beginning in July, the day of the month on which Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program benefits are issued in Nevada is changing for most of the state's 400,000 recipients. The Division of Welfare and Supportive Services will spread out the issue date to the first 10 days of the month, determined by the last digit of the recipient's birth year. For example, if the recipient's birth year is 1975, having a 5 at the end, he or she will receive benefits on the 5th of the month. Well, the USDA Rural Development Nevada is promoting homeownership throughout the month of June. With lower interest rates, now is the greatest time to shop for a rural home. USDA home loans provide 100% financing with no down payment, a low interest rate, and up to a 33-year term. The program is available throughout rural Nevada. However, urban areas of Clark County, Washoe County, and Carson City are not eligible. Ask your local realtor about the program. It's designed for families who want to purchase a modest home but cannot afford to purchase with a commercially available mortgage. According to the Department of Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation's May 2019 economic report, statewide jobs increased by 4% again, and that is 55,200 new jobs added since May of last year, the fastest rate in the nation's history for the 8th consecutive month. May's unemployment changes in the Silver State show decreases in the metro area compared to last year, but increases or no change when compared to April. Similar trends were seen in county areas in many of our cities, along with combined regional areas. The Nevada National Security Site is booking its 2020 tours for the first half of next year. To register, go to nnss.gov. Book now to see remnants of historic Federal Civil Defense Administration tests at Frenchman Flat, or stand at the edge of the Sedan Crater and learn about our present-day mission areas such as Mercury, the low-level radioactive waste management complex, and T1 during a day-long tour of the Nevada National Security Site. Seats are filled on a first-come, first-served basis. Again, that's nnss.gov to register. This has been your news across Nevada. I'm Rhonda Van Winkle.
Rhonda. Well, the future plans for Lakeview Executive Golf Course, which is owned by the town, was on the last Board of County Commissioners agenda.
At the recent Board of County Commissioners meeting, discussion was had regarding fiscal year 2019 to fiscal year 2020's Lakeview Executive Golf Course Annual Plan. The meeting starts with a presentation via slideshow. Tom Bugby, who is a representative for Courseco, the company in charge of managing the golf course, spoke about their fiscal year 20 annual plan. This plan includes providing a quality, affordable golf experience for community residents and visitors, improving the golf course's conditions and customer experience, providing programming for the course, including things such as amateur tournaments, junior high and high school golf teams, and fundraising events, and even next year, they hope to have an Easter egg hunt. Tom also addresses their 2-year capital projects and equipment.
Capital projects and equipment, as I touched on earlier, there's some things that have been deferred there, and there's some areas of opportunity. Specifically, there's no real practice area out there right now. That's a barrier to revenue, but maybe more importantly, introducing people, and specifically juniors, to the game of golf. So that's one of our first projects that we had targeted, which is to rebuild the putting green that was previously there and a netted area to practice hitting golf balls. We also have a few pieces of equipment. I won't go down every line item on here. The clubhouse deck, for those of you that have been out there, it needs a little repairs. And then some pump station repairs that we have identified on there. That's to improve the irrigation system and its efficiency. And then a little bit longer term, looking out into 2020, 2021, some clubhouse renovations to kind of redo the inside experience and hopefully improve food and beverage revenues, as there's more of a reason to stick around after the round of golf.
Commissioner Blundo asks where the money comes from for Corsico and staff gives an answer.
Yes, Commissioner Blundo, we do have a tax rate for the transient tax, the hotel room tax that goes into the fund that supports the golf course outside of the operational budget that's been proposed by the group here at Corsico.
Commissioner Blundo also asks if the course is open for the community to play golf.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Or do you have to have a membership?
No.
No?
Not at all. In fact, we don't really sell memberships. We sell annual passes, so you can pay for your year of golf in advance, but we don't have membership
So it is
programs.
not a private club, private?
Not at all.
Okay, it's an open course,
Absolutely.
open to the public. Okay, thank you for that clarification.
The chairman calls for a vote.
I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Thank you.
Go golf.
Go golf.
Yes.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, let's see what it looks like on our July 1st, the beginning of monsoon season. Outside, we got some winds. We're going to find out more in our weather forecast right after this break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real. And by a Pahrump Rental and Do It Best Hardware. Your friendly small town hardware store. Shop small, shop local.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donahue with today's weather. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 105 degrees and a low of 78. In Death Valley, we had a high of 112 and a low of 81. Amargosa, a high of 100 and a low of 68. 96.63 in Beatty. 88.54 in Goldfield. Tonopah at 86.53. Carson City at 85.48. Fallon, a high of 91 and a low of 52. And finally, Fernley with a high of 90 and a low of 52. Now today in Pahrump, we had nice sunny skies, a high of 100 degrees. Winds coming out of the south-southwest at 13 miles per hour. Our humidity at 9% and our sunrise at 5:30 this morning. Now for tonight, it's currently 98 degrees outside with clear skies, 70 degrees for our low and 7 miles per hour. Winds out of the south-southeast. 13% for our humidity and our sunset expected at 8:05 tonight. Now looking ahead to our 7-day, we're going to see a lot of nice sunny skies throughout the week, but some partly cloudy skies on Wednesday and Sunday. Now for our temperatures, not too much has really changed. On Tuesday all through next Friday, we're going to be hanging out in those high 90s, just between 96 and 99 degrees. And then Saturday, we're going to start hitting those triple digits again. On Saturday and Sunday, we're both going to see a high of 101 degrees. And on Monday, we're just going to be at 100. Now for overnights, those are staying pretty consistent. On Wednesday, we're going to see a low of 68 degrees. And then Tuesday and Thursday through next Monday, we're just going to be in those low 70s, just between 70 and 74 degrees through that stretch of the week. So now if you can't make it home in time to catch the news live on TV, make sure to check out our Facebook page. You can catch the news live every night at 5, as well as any other news and updates. So now we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25 from all of us here at KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio 103.1 FM. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.